We back with another episode of We Watch. Yep, as y'all know, for the last 3 weeks we've been watching Kaleidoscope, and it's me, your host, with my co-host. It's just two of us today. Just two
Yes,
of us
sir.
today. Um, Neko Smoke, Mr. Avery Brown. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, brother. I'm glad to be here and
Yeah,
glad to talk about another interesting episode of Kaleidoscope.
very, very interesting, man. Like I said in the beginning, it's episode 5, orange. Episode 4. Excuse me. Episode 4, orange. This is 5 weeks before the heist. And it's a lot to get to, man. A lot to get to. So at the beginning of the episode, we kind of get a little bit of the backstory of Nazin. I
Hmm.
guess that's how you say her name. Is
Yeah,
the
that's how I pronounced it.
yeah, the FBI agent that we seen in the previous episode where like she was overzealous. She was on drugs, clearly. Um,
Right.
yeah, man, we kind of get a little bit of her backstory. She's now clean. She goes with a gut, and she's trying to get a kid. Man, I thought it was kind of neat for them to go into her backstory.
Yeah, definitely. Especially because it was like why is she always so like hell bent on just getting all this information and like what is her deal? Where is she coming from? Why is she so bent on getting to Ava specifically? But after watching this episode, it makes sense.
You understand it. You understand it. Yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
For sure. As we go along, she's trying to get her son back um from her being a drug addict. Yeah, man, it's I wonder what when they was doing her backstory.
hmm,
I was wondering why. Because we know in the episode that we seen before, she got burnt by Ava.
right,
Pretty much Ava was on her shit
right.
because she's a lawyer, and then she got burnt by her. So with this episode, you kind of feel like a revenge theme coming on.
Yeah, yeah, like heavy. Like you could feel it building. Like everything that Nazim was experiencing and all that. Like it seemed like all of it was just like really centered around. Let me just get back at Ava and back at Leo for what they did to me.
Right.
Like yeah.
Right. So we also get a little bit of Ava's backstory as well. It was
Hmm.
almost like this episode was set up to be, let's show you Ava's backstory a little bit. Let's show you Nazin's backstory, and then it was going to be a clash, some way, shape, or form.
Right.
And we got all of that, man. How you feel about Ava's backstory?
That's another part that honestly it makes sense. Like Ava, I think we had mentioned it in a previous episode where it's like, Ava has all these connections where she can
Mm-hmm.
get a dead corpse and just have them randomly placed in cars, and it's just
Yep.
like how the hell did you get this corpse? Where did you find this at?
Yep.
Like who just casually has somebody's death certificate just laying around? Um, like like you crazy, man? Are you crazy? Um, but after this episode, I'm like, yeah, this makes perfect sense on why Ava is the way that she is and the
Mm-hmm.
way that she does stuff because she's always had the connections. So it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. We found out she was rushed out of her home country, and
Right.
and she's been on her own with a woman that's been raising her, and we
Yeah.
we meet her as well in the
Hmm.
episode, and we kind of see a softer side of her, the side of you know just not so much criminal or lawyer, just a woman who just needs somebody in her life, and that's her.
Right. Right. And looking at her, like when they were, she was first going to the lady's house. I think her name is Teresa.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I kept saying, I was like, this must be her mom, like some kind of mom or grandma or something like that.
Yeah.
And when they revealed that it was her nanny, I was like, that makes sense. Basically,
Yeah.
that's another mom.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But going back in the story a little bit, so we get to know Nas's, backstory.
Right,
And then, Ava and Bob goes out and tries to sell the merchandise that they stole from the heist before.
right.
And Bob, man, keys, man, Bob. We told him from the jump, Bob, Bob is no good, man.
No good.
He's just no good. And throughout the episode, he shows you why he's no good. And in this moment, she's trying to negotiate the deal. Bob trying to hijack it to get more money and
Right.
almost blew the deal. How you feel about Bob now, man?
Man, it's the same opinion I've had since episode one. Bob is trash.
Yep.
Everything he does is trash. Like I said, we've been trying to tell Keys Ali,
Yep.
who's such a Bob advocate. Oh, but nothing's wrong with Bob. No, no, Bob's a good guy. No,
Yeah, nah.
no, Bob has a problem. He has real deep issues.
Deep issues, man.
Yeah,
Deep issues, man. Yeah, damn Bob, man. He about to ruin it for everybody.
hey,
Ruin it.
facts.
Yeah, ruin it for everybody. But they wind up getting 400,000. And then
Right,
they bring it back. They bring it back to where they are, and Leo divvies up the money to everybody. Um, what's my man? What's the man? For some reason, my brain is not working. But anyway, I go through it. He gave Judy money so
hmm
she can do her chemical stuff, and
right,
uh, gave Stan money, gave everybody money. Everybody got money.
right,
Everybody got money to put plans in order, and then he gave Ava a majority of it. Why are
hmm
you giving her all this money? But
right, right. 'Cause that's his main girl.
that's his main girl. But what she did with it is pretty smart. She
Yeah,
want she wound up getting a pretty much a office space in the same office space as SLS is in.
right, right.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
full setup and everything. I was like, that's genius.
Dude,
Like she was determined.
yeah, these the more and more we go along with the show, man, you realize, they all got their special talents and they come out more and more as it goes.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And it was something that during that I have written down um before they got the money. I know they exchanged the jewelry for the 400,000, and
Hmm.
then Bob with his thieving ass
Yeah,
um takes the
takes
watch
the watch
and just walks out. Like, Bob, why did you feel the need to do that?
because
Why?
it's just something in him, man. It's something in him. He got to take a little extra.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's just something about this dude that just rubs me the wrong way every time I watch this, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, going further along, before we kind of jumped ahead a little bit, but yeah, man, Naslin finds out that she finds out through her pet. I like to call him a pet because
Mhm.
he winds up they wind up getting it on at the end, but you know what I mean, like her pet or
Right.
just a little puppy dog hanging on to her.
Uh,
That
oh,
they found
Stan.
yeah
Oh,
they found a fingerprint on the a bullet, and it happened to link back to Ava.
yep.
So what Naslin do? March in there to her boss, and she's ready for action. It sets the plan in her head of revenge. How you felt about that, man?
Oh man, Nazin just knew she was about to like just nail Ava to the wall. Like she just knew, and Ava had the perfect alibi. Like, oh no, I own. She went whole Second Amendment rights route
Hmm.
on that and used that as a cover up and was like, well, I own a lot of guns, and I I load my own gun, so that would be why you see my fingerprints on there. But I don't think my guns would ever be used for a crime. Oh no, not my guns. No, no, no. I was like, this is so clever. This is just
Yeah,
like able to do something like that.
yeah, man. Listen, she been fighting her whole life, and she gonna get out of any situation, man.
Facts,
At least she
facts.
gonna try to.
Right, right,
Um, yeah. So again, she gets out of that situation, but Naz didn't feel like she got Naz. Yeah, Nazin. She feel like
right.
she got a leg up on her this time. Like it's not gonna go the same way as it did previously. Um, but yeah, of course, we go back to the game and what's I keep forgetting my Asian dude's name. The one that the one that we think was kind of sneaky, but I don't think he's sneaky anymore.
RJ.
RJ.
Mm-hmm.
RJ RJ's telling Leo about the Chevy that they need
Mm-hmm.
and how the axles just ain't right. We put all this stuff in there; it's just not gonna be right. But he
Right,
know a guy that got another truck that could be a duplicate.
right.
So what does your man? What does your man Stan do? Stan the man. Hey Judy, let's go do this. You want to take a ride with me?
Right.
You know?
they were they were Stan and Judy were like like a Jill Scott song, like let's take a long walk around the park or something. Like
Yo,
just
there's just so much that's there that they not saying, and I don't
right,
understand.
right.
I just don't understand it at all.
So much
It's
sexual tension.
yeah, it's like why y'all keep doing this stuff? Just tell us what happened. Tell
Yeah,
us what happened between them, because apparently, from the episode when they was in prison, they was like this,
right.
and then in this episode, there's mention of what happened between them, but they don't really go into detail.
Mm-mm. Very vague. Like they just left it. They left it. They really left it up to imagination. Like we're just gonna put this out here, and you can assume whatever you want to assume. It may come out in a later episode. I don't know, but
I
yeah,
hope
they
so, because
real vague.
this is crazy. They meet up with Bob at the bar. They all excited because they just got a new truck. They had to act like they was married, all this shit like that.
Right.
But Bob just received some bad news, so he wasn't hearing none of this.
No,
None of it at all.
at all, at all. Poor Bob. I actually felt sorry for him in this upcoming scene, just for a little bit. But then I was like, he's still trash.
Oh yeah, nah. They don't listen. I get it. They try to make Bob a human,
Mm-hmm.
but nah, fam. I'm not rolling. I'm not rolling. You
Mm-mm.
can't fool me. He already trash. So of course
Right.
he ain't like what he was hearing. He ain't like what he was hearing. He said some shit about uh Judy, pretty much just he ain't shit.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right. Like,
He
why
ain't
you with him and all that?
yeah.
You know,
And then Stan was about to break the bottle, go, go after him, but he's like, you know what? It ain't worth it.
right, right. After Bob punched him in the face, I'm like Bob, why you already have a hand that you can't use? Like you just doing all that extra stuff. Why?
Yeah, man. It's just I don't know, fam.
That's Bob. But yeah, but his hand just, on that paper when he was reading it, it's like, oh, it's extended nerve damage and he may not have full use of the hand again. I was like, well, that explains a lot on why one of the reasons on why he's so frustrated all the time.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like you don't have full mobility in your hand. It's like, well, just cut my hand off then. If I can't, and he's right-handed too, because he,
Yep.
he mentions that. So I'm like, well, that sucks. But still don't like Bob. Not a fan of Bob.
Yeah. So here's my thing. I don't know if you caught this or not, since we moving on along, but
Mhm.
throughout the episode, after Ava comes into the FBI, she talks to him or whatever, she leaves. Now, uh, Nazin and her little boy toy was they full on. All right, we gonna catch these fuckers.
Right.
I understand they the FBI, but come on, man. The speed of which they can find out where they are, who they was attached to, all that shit is nuts, fam.
Right. Like there's no way that would happen in real life. It would take them sometimes weeks or months to find one thing. So
They got the whole
yeah.
crew pegged. Like the whole crew down. They know everybody. They know
Right.
Bob. They know Ava. They
Right.
know they know Ray is still alive. You know, Judy, Stan,
Right.
like they know all of them. They know what all of them do. They know, oh,
Mhm.
he's a smuggler. You know, she's a chemist, and she the money, and you know, like it's
Right.
come on, fam. I get it. You the FBI, but stop it.
Facts. Because that part of it was not realistic. I was like, this no way y'all connected those dots that quick. There's no way, even though you had the box and all that stuff. But I'm like, that's still not that's still not enough to conclude that all these people are in on this. I'm like, no. Mm-mm, mm-mm. But I guess they just put one and one together and then they just concluded
Yeah,
with that.
yeah. I guess so. But
But it was still like, it's a little sketchy.
I bring that up because when Bob and Judy was outside talking, he shows her the paper out in the open.
Right,
Just in the free, they talking about cracking safes and shit.
right, right,
While Dude Man got the camera with the extra lens on it, with the headphones on, and everything. It's like, yo, fam, come on, yo. I'm starting to get like keys a little bit. Like I get, I get the show is doing stuff to make you think and all this shit, but come
right,
on, man, come on. This is just nuts. And then they go in the car and start screwing.
right. And that's another awkward, just cringy sex scene with Bob and with Judy. I was just like, it's the whole bathroom scene all over again.
Yeah.
Just well, I was like, what? Like, what is that? And then his hand that I don't that was so weird that his hand on the window,
Just blood.
just
Yeah, like
bloody
why
hand.
why they keep showing us this shit?
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to see his crippled hand.
Yeah, just for them to go back to their hideout and Stan got the safes
Right,
and it's two safes that he gotta use both of his hands. So this whole
right.
episode is it's all about like it feels like it's all about people's weaknesses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's all about
Yes.
people's weaknesses. And later on in the show, we find out Ava's weakness, which we see all along what her weakness is. We
Mm-hmm.
know we know Nazin's her
Right.
her weakness is her kid.
Right.
Ava's weakness is her nanny.
Right.
And Bob's weakness is his hand. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's all about people's weaknesses. And
Right.
I thought it was very interesting the scene where um Ava was trying to throw off Nazin. Had her chasing her all through that club.
All through the club. Right. And that when that flash went off and it did something to her vision because when they got outside,
Mm-hmm.
she just knew that was her. And that lady turned around, she was like, what the hell just
Yeah.
happened?
And then
And then they arrested her.
yep, they arrested her because they planted drugs on her. So
Right.
what happens? Her kid, her rights get taken away from her
Gone.
kid. So
Sad. Sad. Sad.
so moving on towards the end of the episode, who gets taken away from Ava? Her nanny.
Her nanny.
And now we know that Ava is a mole.
Right. Right. Just that quick. Like it sets it up perfectly on
Yep.
how Ava got to be what she is. And I was like, dang, I was like, now that makes sense.
Yeah, but even still though, I feel like one, Ava is still down for the cause, and
Mhm.
there's some type of sneaky stuff to it. Like she might be doing what she need to get her nanny back,
Right.
but she's not like fully in on telling on them and what they got going on.
Right. That's true. That's true. Because it was interesting the part about her nanny being taken and just I think with the officer, she was talking about how she kind of led into, how she started using, of course, because she's been in the group meetings and trying to be in recovery and all that, and um that her being in that club could really have potentially been triggering for her as somebody that's in recovery.
Yeah, for sure.
um like, and the first thing you see is somebody sniffing, like snorting, and I'm just like, dang, this is potentially triggering, but I'm gonna just keep on walking because I'm
Yep.
trying to do my job, but I'm also trying not to get back into that at the same time. But she there was a part in there where they were talking, her and Ava, and Ava was like, just dealing with I wrote down here in my notes where she talks about the three different countries, Spain, where somebody killed her cousin,
Mm-hmm.
Argentina, where her parents were killed, and then now in the US where the police kidnapped her nanny because they're Muslim. And it's just like, well, because they're Muslim. And then, or like, even for people, and we know like that with Hispanic people, like America is notorious for wanting to remove people if you don't have your citizenship and all that. I was like, that was a good segue into real life right there. Um, because I'm like, it's America's so anal about that. Where's your green card? You don't have a green card, you gotta go. Where? I'm like, shut
Yeah.
up. They're not
Yep.
harming anybody. Like,
Nope. They just want a better life like me and you.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There was another scene as I'm scrolling through my notes. Y'all, this episode has a lot going on.
Uh,
There's a lot. Um, of course, Bob was being a dick. I mean, that's just Bob. Um, there was a part, and I don't know if people noticed that, where Bob was working on the safes. Um, and he was about to punch it, but he had to remember, like, oh wait, the nerves in my right hand don't really work. So if I punch this safe,
yeah, it's gonna fuck me up
it's
even
gonna
more.
right, like it's really, really gonna mess me up, and I'll probably not be able to use my hand at all. So maybe I should just restrain myself.
Mm-hmm.
Which for Bob, I'm sure that was a lot because he likes to punch people.
Yep.
Oh gosh, there was a
Yeah.
Parkinson's joke again. I'm sorry. There was
uh,
another Parkinson's joke.
Listen, man, it's just really really funny to me how his Parkinson's don't act up like it's supposed to.
Right. But you know what? Bob mentions that when he showed up at Ava's house, he said Sir Shakes uh Sir Shakes is not gonna do anything to me, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I was like, yo, so his Parkinson's is still there. It's just not.
It's you know what I mean. They see it, we don't see it. You know what I mean? We don't see the shakes, man. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no shakes.
No shakes, man.
Oh
No,
god.
no shakes, man.
That was hilarious.
But again, man, this is just another episode with even more questions, with little backstory, like little backstory. You know, a
Hmm.
little backstory to keep you interested. But hopefully, going forward, we'll see more. And with this next episode, Violet, we going 24 years before the heist. So
Right.
hopefully, we get to see more of Ray and how this all came about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, overall, I really enjoyed this episode. It answered a lot of questions for me.
Yep.
Um, I don't know about anybody else and anybody that may be watching, but it definitely answered a lot of the questions that I had. Um, you know, and I really hate that she lost custody of her son. Like you, and she was so busy spying on Ava that it's just like, ma'am, you forgot you had a custody hearing that day.
Yeah, man. It
How do
just
you forget that? You're an hour and a half late. You crazy.
revenge, man. When somebody got their sights on revenge,
Right,
everything else is out the window, and
right,
she just fell right back into the trap that Ava put her in the first place.
right, right.
So hopefully we'll see.
Insane.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see more. But I know next episode, going back 24 years, it's got to be an origin story here somewhere. Gotta be.
Oh yeah, it's probably coming soon. Because it's really just I think these episodes they're all leading into one big conclusion, of course, but
Hmm.
yeah, definitely another origin story has to be coming, or something that gives more context to maybe some of the other characters in the story. But um, I'm still invested in this story. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, yeah, man, I like it too. You know, I really just want to get to I want to get to the end. I want all my questions to be answered. You know what I mean? Like
You sound
I'm
like Keys.
yeah, man. I'm getting antsy now. You know what I mean? Like we almost you know what I mean. We almost halfway through, and I'm like, all right, fam. I need some answers. You know, I need some answers, man. But again, we'd like to thank y'all for watching our review show of Kaleidoscope. We watch episode Orange. Next week it'll be Violet, episode 5,
Hmm.
24 years before the heist. Maybe some origin story. Maybe not. Maybe they might keep us going for a fucking loop. Who
Right.
knows, man? But we here and we're willing to go to the end just for you guys. Keys Ali will be back next week. And we out.
Peace.